Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Limnacker, and just want to share with you some of the top stories that we're following and something that's having such a big impact on commuters. If you didn't notice this morning, you probably will. A bridge closure. Really a big heads up there if you're in the Sandy Springs area, because this bridge at Pitts Road and Georgia 400 officially closed earlier this morning at 5 o'clock. You can expect this bridge to actually remain closed for an entire year. So if you take this way, whether it's for work or school or just errands or any other reason, you're basically going to be rerouted. And GDOT is sharing their detour route just so that you know what to expect. This project has been a long time coming. GDOT saying that the infrastructure there is some 50 years old, desperately needs to be replaced. They're also planning to widen this bridge. As part of this project, Roberts Bridge, will also be replaced along with Kimball Bridge. And this is all part of a bigger plan to bring a multi-use pathway to Pitts Road and bring wider sidewalks as well as some express lanes. But Sandy Springs officials are telling us it's best to not rely on your cell phone for navigation, not just yet. Just in case the map system doesn't update in time. It's best to just follow the detour route and the signs that are posted, along that area. And, you're just gonna have to prepare for some headaches and really avoid that area. Be mindful of those detours. If you are traveling in that area, it's certainly gonna be an ongoing issue for the near future. Well, at least a year, actually. Also want to let you know about this investigation that's underway into a possible stabbing right now. So this is in DeKalb County. Police are saying that they were called to a gated community in southeast Atlanta for this possible stabbing overnight. You see the scene. This was happening on Flat Shoals Road. And when our crew got to the scene, they saw a victim fighting with paramedics and police. You can kind of see what's going on here in this video. Apparently refusing to be transported to the hospital. Officers eventually did put this man into handcuffs, as you can see, and did force him into the ambulance. And you see a little bit of a little bit of tension there, but. Officers were able to get this man into the handcuffs, get him into the ambulance there. He was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital. We're working to learn about his condition, his injuries, and what exactly took place here. But investigation is currently underway. But if you saw any commotion there in DeKalb County in southeast Atlanta on Flat Shoals Road, this is what it was. And we're gonna, provide you with any updates here on Atlanta News First Plus as soon as we learn more. Also, want to let you know about this fire that unfortunately has devastated a therapy center, which is so important for young people who have special needs. It's actually an equine therapy center where folks who have had certain health challenges, maybe even some intellectual disabilities, have been able to go for equine therapy, interact with the animals, the horses, and it's been a big source of relief there. This is in Cartersville. Well, unfortunately, it's been devastated by a fire. Thankfully, it's just the structure that was damaged itself, but it's certainly going to be a very big hit for this operation. My colleague, Asia Wilson, has more.
Burnt pieces and caution tape.
What used to be our barn held 8 years of memory.
Is what's left behind at Beyond Limits Therapeutic Writing after this massive fire on May 25th.
Everything that we worked for and saved for to purchase is it. There's nothing left.
No horses died and no one was hurt.
And you can still smell it after 2.5 weeks.
It was the home for 10 horses, 12 stalls, and all of Kimberly Oviedo's equipment for her business, where she served 60 individuals with special needs weekly.
We work with children and adults with a multitude of disabilities, anything from cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some of these kids are in and out of the hospital all the time.
This has struck a personal chord for Iz.
It made my heart hurt.
Who is 25 years old and has suffered multiple brain surgeries.
He counts down sleeps until he gets to ride again. He's been asking me every other day,
Hammy sleeps until I get to ride again.
For many like Mary Coward's 6-year-old son,
this place just means so much to all of us. I mean, it's just changing our kids.
this is the only place where their loved ones can be who they are and not be defined by their diagnosis.
It's their safe place. It's their place where they can just be free.
As the owner says, it will take between $600,000 to $800,000 to rebuild.
We really need the community to continue to step up and help us
They hope your help will give hope and life back to their riders.
so that these kids can continue in their therapy.
Now, the owner here says insurance won't cover anything that they lost. They said the biggest need now is monetary donations. To see how you can help this organization, visit the story right now on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. In Cartersville, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
All right, our thanks so much to Asia for that story. Look, another story that we've been following is this issue surrounding Shoot the Hooch. It's an Atlanta summer tradition floating down the Chattahoochee River. That's how it got the nickname Shoot the Hooch, from a tubing business that's actually been putting folks on the water for decades there. Well, now the owner of that business says that he's going to have to close down because he says he's been moved to what he deems an unsafe part of the river. Well, the National Park Service relocated Shoot the Hooch's launch from Sandy Springs to Duluth. Park rangers say not all the businesses allowed to operate on the Chattahoochee can launch or get out at the same spots because it creates too much confusion and too much traffic on the water. Well, Shoot the Hooch's owner, Bill Audrey, says after operating for years in Sandy Springs, he feels like his customers aren't fully safe where he's supposed to launch them in Gwinnett County, so he's not putting anyone on the water. And the National Park Service says they are standing firm in their decision to move the business. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Going to reassess what we're doing. It's based on analysis of what is happening in the park and our mission, and is not specifically directed towards Shoot the Hooch. When the decision was made by me, I did not say we have to look at Shoot the Hooch. I said we have to look at the operations and what is happening with our visitor experience.
So the business Chattahoochee River Company has been putting people on tubes in Gwinnett County for over a decade. While they do admit that part of the river is more difficult to navigate, the owner says it is still safe to float, and business has been booming this summer, and so that's another business. So, you know, it's pros and cons depending on what business that you are talking about. For right now, let's talk about the weather. You know, it didn't look very much like a day where you would honestly want to be out on the river when I got out this morning. Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi here with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be, today will be mainly dry, but it is going to be a little on the dreary side for the first half of the day, and a little on the cool side for this time of year. So, yeah, probably not the best day to be out on the water, but there will be plenty of days. We are heading into summer, the official start of summer, I believe a little over a week away, the 21st of June. So there is going to be many hot afternoons that you'll want to get out on the river ahead. But today is going to be a little on the cool side for at least this time of year. Our average highs are around 87 degrees. And as you can see here, we're going to top out near 84 with that small chance for showers, mainly around your lunch hour today. So if you're headed out in places like Midtown, downtown, a lot of the metro is going to at least have the potential. We'll have a 20% coverage, so it's going to be very spotty. But as a cold front comes through during the heating hours of the day like that, we'll have the chance for a couple of those showers and thunderstorms to spark up. And it does look like the potential for that is over the metro area. So again, if you're headed out to lunch this afternoon in places like Midtown, downtown Atlanta, maybe you're trying to catch a flight, head out on a business trip today, you might get a little wet between the hours of 11 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon is where we'll look for that small chance for isolated showers. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi, by the way. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. This week is going to be unsettled. You'll want to have that umbrella handy. We've been really, really lucky with our forecast the past couple of weeks. It seems like we had pretty calm spring, and now we're heading into summer, and it's been fairly mild. And we've had a lot of really dry days, so this week is going to look a little different. We are due for some rain, everybody. So let's take you through today. Today will be, again, mainly dry. We had quite the busy overnight with all the rain and storms, but as a cold front moves through, it'll offer us the chance for maybe a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, again, around your lunch hour. And then as we head into the evening hours, right before sunset, we'll actually see a good bit of sunshine. Sunshine will peak out today, and that'll help temperatures bump into the low 80s this afternoon. If you're up in the mountains, you'll probably top out near 80, but overall a cooler than average day today. But all the clouds we've been seeing through the first half of the day will continue to dissipate as we head past lunchtime today and that front passes on by. So here's kind of our setup the next few days. This is what's going to dominate our forecast pattern. So front will pass. That'll offer us the few isolated showers today. But what's going to happen is it's not going to completely clear off the coast. It's going to stall across the southeast. And as it stalls, that's going to provide a focal point for showers and thunderstorms and just an avenue for little waves of energy to ride along to keep us very unsettled through the week, really through Thursday. It does look like we'll finally break out of this pattern as we head into Friday. But something we'll be watching as this front stalls, it's going to trap in a lot of moisture and it's going to give us enough lift to add that extra ingredient for an organized chance for severe storms. So we generally in the summertime have those pop-up thunderstorms, and just because we're so hot, we have the chance for isolated severe storms in the afternoon, but nothing necessarily organized. But in this case, we'll have the heat, check, we'll have the moisture, check, and we'll have that organized front that will create the extra lift. So those three ingredients, when they come together like that, you get that organized threat for severe storms, and that's what we're seeing. So again, that front will provide the lift. You have the heat that's going to provide the energy, and the moisture that's going to help kind of add that extra fuel as well. That will give us this organized severe threat for Wednesday. So that is a first alert. We did issue a first alert for Wednesday because of the chance for isolated severe storms, especially south of I-20. What we're going to be looking for threat-wise, gusty wind, maybe some large hail. I think the larger hail threat is going to be south of the area, but we could have 1-inch diameter hail, maybe even ping pong ball sized hail in some of these storms, especially closer to central Georgia. The closer to that front you are, the closer to the moisture source of the Gulf of Mexico you are, the better chance for some large hail you have. So we'll be looking primarily in places like Lamar, Upson, Meriwether, Troup counties for maybe some larger hail as these little impulses roll on through. Now, I will say with this setup, it's a little difficult to forecast where exactly these storms are going to set up, but I'm going to show you what at least the models are thinking right now. Unfortunately, these are very small scale disturbances that are going to roll through, and because they're so small scale, models have trouble forecasting exactly where they're going to go. But we do know that front is going to serve as the focal point, and again, the kind of the interstate for all of these to travel along. So where that front sets up, once we kind of know where it settles, then we'll have a better idea of exactly where these impulses are going to ride. But right now, again, mainly south of the areas where we're looking. So that's why I think mainly south of I-20 is who we'll be watching for maybe some isolated severe storms. So here's Tuesday. Notice that front to our south, and see all those little impulses of thunderstorms, those clusters of thunderstorms that are just going to ride along that as we head into Tuesday night. So severe threat is to our south on Tuesday, and then as we head into Wednesday, that front will actually start to lift slightly. At least that's what we're thinking right now. This could change. But watch as these storms come in from Alabama and ride along that front and push into parts of North Georgia. I do think central Georgia is going to be more of the bullseye for the severe weather threat, but we still have that isolated chance, especially in our southern counties. And these little waves of energy could ultimately cause heavy rain, gusty wind, and that potential for some hail as well. And the heat of the day, here's 4:30, that's when those clusters are really going to be the strongest. We call them short waves. They're waves of energy that, again, are just going to scoot on in as we go through the day Wednesday and give us that chance for severe weather. Very difficult to pinpoint until you're kind of in the day of, so you want to stay tuned to the forecast. But as I mentioned, I do think we're going to mainly be looking along I-20 and southward for those impulses because you're going to be closer to that front. You'll be closer to that source of lift. You'll be closer to the source of moisture. So that's what we're thinking for Wednesday. But that is still first alert. You want to stay tuned to the forecast because if that front does shift a little further north, then that can impact more of us. And that's something that's a possibility that we'll be watching for as we go through the next couple of days. Thursday, we'll keep a small chance for showers and thunderstorms. Friday's the only dry day we have. And actually, Friday, we're going to start to refuel and reheat. We'll be back in the upper 80s Friday out ahead of another weather system that will move in for the weekend. And that's going to increase our coverage of rain for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, we did issue a first alert as well. Models are struggling a little bit with the timing and coverage of the showers and storms on Sunday. But for now, it does look like Sunday will be a fairly rainy day. So if you have any Sunday plans already, you're already starting to think about the weekend. It's Monday, but it's never too early. Just keep in mind you might want a backup plan for Sunday just in case. We are going to be watching for maybe some isolated flash flooding, especially down towards LaGrange. So Troup, Meriwether County, down towards Butts County. You you could pick up in just the next few days upwards of maybe close to 4 inches of rain. If you get caught under some of those little clusters of storms that roll through, then you're going to receive a lot of rain in just a short period of time. So we'll be watching for maybe some isolated flash flooding. That's not going to be an issue for all of us, but it is possible for some of us. Most of us will pick up anywhere between a trace to maybe an inch of rain over the next several days. So we'll be watching again for maybe that isolated flash flooding. That threat's definitely greater south of the area, but kind of like the severe threat, we'll put more of an emphasis on places like Troup, Meriwether, Butts, Spalding, Lamar counties, Upson County over the next couple of days. Also, those of you in Jasper and Putnam County. So that's what we're looking at the next couple of days. Again, pretty unsettled, but we could use the rain. We're not necessarily in a drought or anything like that, but rain is always good this time of year when we start to heat up. There's more evaporation going on during the day with these longer days, the higher sun angles, so you need more moisture in the ground to prevent a drought from happening. So drier day today, maybe just a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon hours, so around your lunchtime. And then just spotty showers expected Tuesday, cooler on Tuesday. Again, that front that moved through is a cold front, so between the cloud cover, the chance for some spotty showers, and that wind coming in more so out of the north, it's going to make us a little cooler Tuesday. Wednesday, we have those little waves of energy, those little impulses of showers and thunderstorms riding along that front that will make for a fairly stormy afternoon, and that is a first alert. And then as we head into Thursday, we do look mainly dry. Same for Friday. Friday's a dry day, upper 80s, and we'll stay in the mid to upper 80s through the weekend. But the weekend, we do ramp storm chances back up, and Sunday is a first alert as we do seem to have a fairly rainy day. We will be watching that for you carefully, as we know good and well the weather will change in one way or another. So if the rain seems to shift more to Saturday or the rain seems to shift more into next week, we will let you know. But for now, we're giving you an early heads up that it does look like Sunday could be a pretty rainy day. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning. We always appreciate it to hear your headlines and your forecast. We will keep you posted on both your top stories and your forecast on the First Alert Weather app and the Atlanta News First app. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you here next time.